The Steelers suffered an embarrassing loss at home to the Arizona Cardinals by a final score of 24-10. Here in Week 13, we came into this game with so much optimism, with so much hope after beating the Bengals, after putting up 400-plus yards of offense. Now you get here, Kenny Pickett gets hurt, Elandon Roberts gets hurt, a number of Steelers starters get hurt, and you lose by 14 on your home turf to a team that you should have beaten by at least 3 scores. So this is going to be a tough one here. The Steelers go down to 7-5 on the season here, and this is just a loss that you just didn't really see coming after beating a Bengals team last week. You really felt like this offense was starting to ride high a little bit. I was expecting the Steelers to win this one by multiple scores. My official score prediction was 31-13, and the Cardinals completely flipped the switch today. Mitchell Trubisky ended up being the biggest passer for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 11-17 for 117 yards and a touchdown. So Mitch actually didn't play awful in this football game. And by the way, Kenny Pickett, when he was in the game today, took the team down the field to the red zone on 2 drives in the first half. He wasn't awful in this game either. Now, there was definitely some other shortfalls, right? Mason Cole couldn't snap the football to Kenny Pickett or Mitch Trubisky throughout this game. The run game wasn't as effective as it was in weeks past. The leading rusher for the Steelers was Najee Harris with 16 carries for only 63 yards. George Pickens did hit some deep shots today, though. 4 receptions, 83 total yards. So not a terrible day for George Pickens. And, I think that the Steelers offense probably played a little bit better than the box score or the final score kind of tells you. But at the end of the day, man, this is absolutely unacceptable. Mike Tomlin, the head coach, did not have his guys ready to play this week. Lots of bad penalties, lots of untimely penalties. Could not stop the Cardinals on 3rd down and in the red zone. And then the Steelers offense on 3rd down and in the red zone was just straight up abysmal today. That's the difference in this ball game, and that's why you lost this one 24-10. Now, grade the Steelers' performance in this one. Honestly, if you're not putting an F in there, I don't know what to say, man. Seriously, the results in this football game speak for themselves. I think the process was maybe a little bit better than the results, but at the end of the day, man, the results are straight up F in my opinion. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, so YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. So when that happens, take advantage of that time by giving me an A, a B, a C, or D, or an F. For me personally, I'm giving the black and gold an F. All right, so now let's get into my takeaways here from this football game. And obviously, the injury list is starting to get long. And listen, this is not an excuse for losing this football game. Even with these injuries, the Steelers should have won this football game. So I'm not using this as an excuse. But you can't deny that there's a lot of really key starters for the Steelers that suffered injuries. Elandon Roberts at the end of the first half, groin injury, out for the rest of the game. Kenny Pickett had an ankle injury at the end of the first half, out for the rest of the game. Isaac Seumalo had a shoulder injury at the end of the first half, out for the rest of the game. Those are 3 very key starters for you, especially Elandon Roberts, because Cole Holcomb and Quan Alexander are already out for the season. So that one's a killer. Hopefully Elandon is good to come back for the season. Same thing with Pickett, same thing with Seumalo. And Minkah Fitzpatrick actually didn't leave the football game, but he actually broke his hand, got it casted on the sideline, and kept playing. So Minkah Fitzpatrick, after being out for so many weeks with a hamstring injury, really gutted it out today. It looks like he's going to be playing with a cast moving forward. And the injury report now is definitely starting to pile up for the Steelers just when they were starting to get healthy. Now, I got more takeaways here after this Week 13 loss to the Cardinals. But first, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Factor Meals. This holiday season, you might be looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep you energized on jam-packed days. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track with your healthy lifestyle while tracking all of your holidays to do. If you're too busy with holiday plans to cook, but want to make sure you're eating well, with Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and all the chopping, prepping, cooking, and cleaning that goes into cooking your meals while still getting the flavor and nutritional quality that you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is heat and enjoy. Head on over to factormeals.com/SteelersChat50 and use code SteelersChat50 to get 50% off. That's code SteelersChat50 at factormeals.com/SteelersChat50 to get 50% off. Factor Meals today. Now, plain and simply, the Steelers fell into a classic Mike Tomlin, Steelers trap game situation here where you're riding high off of a really great offensive performance against the Bengals in Week 12, and you go into this game against an opponent that you really should beat to a pulp, right? You're at home. You got the better defense. You've got more talent on offense, in my opinion, other than the quarterback position, and you get beat by 2 touchdowns. That's just unacceptable, and unfortunately, this has become a trend with the Pittsburgh Steelers when it comes to losing some of these trap game scenarios, especially at home, games that you shouldn't lose. And it's just something that the Steelers need to get fixed, and it needs to be something that gets fixed really, really quickly because you got the Patriots coming to town on Thursday night. Now, despite the Steelers completely crumbling here in Week 13, I'm not overreacting, okay? I came into this week feeling very confident that the Pittsburgh Steelers could make the playoffs, and I still feel fairly confident that the Steelers can do that. I know that they're dealing with injuries right now, but overall, this defense has played well this season, very well, in fact. And then once you get Kenny Pickett back, and it doesn't sound like this is an injury that's going to keep him out for a super extended amount of time, all you have to do from this point forward is win three games here to get to 10-7, which would pretty much secure you a wild card spot in the AFC. And you've got 2 games that you should absolutely win in the Patriots and the Cincinnati Bengals at home on Christmas Eve there. So if you can win those 2 games, then you're sitting at 9 wins, and all you have to do is beat the Colts, the Seahawks, or the Ravens. Win one of those 3 games, and you're in the playoffs, guys. So I'm not overreacting to this one. This was a really bad football game, but hopefully this Steelers team can take this lesson and never want to feel this taste in their mouth ever again. This is absolutely terrible, but the good news is they do have a short turnaround here for Thursday Night Football. If you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button right now. We're really closing in on 39,000 subscribers, and we're getting even closer to 40,000 subscribers. We're trying to get there in the next 2 weeks. So help us do that by clicking that subscribe button for daily and free Steelers content here on YouTube. My final takeaway here is you boys better win on Thursday, man. That's all I'm going to say. You lose to the Cardinals, a team that had the number 2 overall spot in the 2023 or 2024 NFL draft coming into the day, and you lost to them by 2 touchdowns. You can't let that happen again to the New England Patriots, who on Thursday will likely have the number 2 overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft. So you just can't lose to these. You just can't lose to these types of teams twice in a row, especially at home. If the Steelers lose on Thursday, then I will officially probably be jumping off the Pittsburgh Steelers bandwagon, but I really hope that I don't have to do that. And for the record, I do not think I'm going to have to. I think they're going to bounce back. Whether it's Kenny Pickett or Mitchell Trubisky, I think this offense bounces back with a decent performance on Thursday Night Football. And it might not be a blowout on Thursday for the Steelers, but I do think it'll be a win, and it will get the season back on track. Now let me know down there in the comment section, who do you blame for today's loss? And, you know, what I'm going to blame today's loss on, and this might surprise some people, is Mike Tomlin. I've been one of the biggest Mike Tomlin supporters that there are out there. I don't think the Steelers should fire him. I don't think that this game is proof that the Steelers are poorly coached as a whole or generally or anything like that. But when you look at this game individually, this team was not ready to play. Stupid penalties, illegal formations in the first half, not getting the right personnel on there, not really fighting at the end of this football game either when the game was clearly over. So I look at this team right now, and this was not a game that the Pittsburgh Steelers came ready to play. This is a game that they expected to win. They came in feeling like they were going to win, and they kind of disrespected their opponent a little bit, and they paid the price for that. Of course, injuries played a role in that. Some bad breaks happened in terms of penalties, but hey, at the end of the day, the Steelers were the ones responsible for this loss. And the guy at the head of the snake here is Mike Tomlin, so I'm going to blame Tomlin for this Week 13 loss. Now, if you want more Steelers coverage on Twitter, you can check me out on X or Twitter, whatever you guys want to call it, at Jack_Sperry. During the month of December, for all of my new Twitter followers, I am going to be doing a raffle on Christmas Day to give away a brand new Steelers jersey. So if you want a chance to win that jersey, all you have to do is click that follow button, and check in with my Twitter on Christmas Day. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I will see you guys later. And as always, here we go, Steelers.